Do you guys have any theories as to why Miyazaki made the hero of this film a pig?
I have no idea. That was one thing that I kept writing down. I wrote it down like 2 or 3 times, like, why is he a pig? And I mean, it is addressed like, hey, he's a pig, obviously, but the origins of it and how it works, because there's some differences in how it works with him being a pig, and he used to be a human, and he's got this curse, and there aren't a lot of answers to that in this movie, which is a little odd and makes me think like maybe there wasn't supposed to be even talk of it being a curse because it was supposed to be a 45-minute movie. You're just supposed to accept like, hey, this is a pig that's flying. Enjoy your flight.
Yeah.
And then when he has to expand it out to 90 minutes, he's like, oh, I guess there's got to be a reason why he's the only pig. And he's like, there's a curse. And yeah, just accept it. There's a curse.
I do feel like the big questions of this film are left pretty open-ended, which I like.
Mm-hmm. It's up to your own interpretation. We're keeping this a secret and take it as you will.
Well, I assume there might be some kind of Japanese symbolism going on that I was not privy to. Like maybe that the pig had a sort of traditional association with maybe myths or fairy tales. It's interesting, isn't it? That sidebar within this that this comes out. I think at least in the States, the year that Beauty and the Beast comes out. So you've got like similar similar traditions of the transformed. Beast man essentially in European legends, and actually it's funny, isn't it? The kid, is it Theo? Is it Theo?
Theo, yeah, Theo. The girl.
Yeah, Theo. Yeah, it's funny. She references that kind of legend, doesn't she? When she's there's that lovely scene when she's talking to Porco at night, and she talks about the idea of kissing him. And because she's heard it in the legends, and he's just like, save it for someone who means something, kid, or just kind of brushes it off, without diminishing the suggestion of magic at play or anything like that.
I mean, I think it's interesting because if you took away the pig element, there would be very little separating this from sort of old Hollywood style filmmaking. And so I think that it's adding an absurdist element to it. When Miyazaki was asked, he said, I wouldn't want to draw a human character like that. I think because he's a womanizer and a number of other things. But one thing that really bothers Miyazaki is righteousness. And so I think that he kind of likes that this character isn't righteous, is kind of given up on a righteous cause and doesn't believe in what's going on with the government and with fascism. But he said, pigs are creatures which might be loved, but they are never respected.
It's funny though. I actually think that's an odd thing for him to say, because I think Porco Rosso is actually quite a well-respected character in this.
I agree. Yeah.
He's almost like the badass, isn't he? Like, well, I mean, he's very much the badass, but he's kind of generally well loved, quite revered by some, kind of like at least known and kind of respected for his prowess and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I mean, I know he considers himself an outcast and kind of has what you call it, sort of misanthropic views about humanity and war, etc., etc. And he does mention fascism, obviously, which is interesting.
Feel like he is particularly fond of himself.
I mean, even he references himself as like, I don't deserve it, I'm a pig.
Yeah.
Like a lot. There's a lot of that talk. But I agree that I think that he does have his own moral code and he sticks to it. And he is a righteous person and he sticks up. And when you hear more about his backstory and like what happened with him, you understand why he is the way he is. And I think Miyazaki's wrong about his own movie.
Yeah, what Miyazaki meant to say.
I don't think that Porco is a righteous character. I think he has fallen from grace in a sense. And I think that he is a cynic who has kind of felt like there's a loss of meaning in the world, but keeps going. And so he boozes it up and womanizes and all these other things to try and kind of make himself feel something. But yeah, Miyazaki continued that sort of sentiment, saying that pigs are synonymous with greed, obesity, debauchery. And he was disgusted by the notion that man is the ultimate being chosen by God. And then he talks about the righteousness stuff. And then he says, I made the hero a pig because that was what best suited these feelings of mine.
Interesting. It sounds like getting him on the psychiatrist couch would be a really interesting exercise, doesn't it?
Thanks for watching that clip from the Anime Movie Podcast. Follow the links in the description below to hear full episodes, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more fun clips like this.